everyone. Welcome. My name is Trav. We've got Quantic. We got Kobe. There he is. Kobe, good to see you. We are what three matters. Should we do it, guys? I'm not even gonna make a big deal of it. I'm just gonna do it. This is our thing now. This is what happens. Embrace the cringe. Today we have a very special show. We are diving in. Actually, you know what? I won't even do it justice. Kobe, why don't you tell us exactly what's going on here? But then afterwards, let's touch base with everyone. Let's see how everyone's doing here today.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, GM to you guys and GM to everybody tuning in already. If you guys I would love you for y'all to like hit the like button, share the stream out. We're gonna like definitely be sharing some super good alpha today. So definitely share it out. Drop something in the comment section, and let's get some more eyes here on what's cooking over at the shipyard. So today, and I'm gonna actually set this up for you, Quantic, and then I'll pass it over to you to kind of like go deeper on the why. But today we're going to be talking about Polly, which is our agent built on top of OpenClaw. And basically, she was born maybe 11 days ago. And so, pretty stoked to show you guys the kind of the build logs, what's been happening since that first day, which is crazy to think how much progress has been made in just 11 days. Um, and we've really hit a breakthrough. And so I'll kind of leave it there and uh, pass it over to you, Quantic, and maybe if you want to talk about some of the things you were saying beforehand about, what people are saying about OpenClaw, what people aren't saying, and stuff like that.
Yeah. So essentially, this is the thing. We started a few weeks back, a little bit over 1 week, exploring if we can use OpenClaw to build one of these famous bots that people are talking about on Polymarket. What we found is that it seems to work, but then we needed to do some more testings. There were some things that happened, and today we're going to show you the results. But the important thing is, though, that we have discovered something that is much more useful and productive, and that is how you can effectively utilize OpenClaw to boost your productivity in terms of your organization and how you collaborate with others, and how this is going to shape the way in which we work with AI agents as humans, and how agents collaborate with other agents to get shit done. That's the main point of today's live stream.
Which is wild. And I'm like, I know there are so many implications of this, and I'm looking forward to diving into every single one of them here today. So, yeah, this is going to be a good one here. And there's some interesting stuff going on with OpenClaw too. I know we were talking about this in the chat here with the um, that lizard man, Mr. Altman, who purchased freaking uh, OpenClaw, and now there's some things that are happening around that, which is kind of worrisome here. Do you want to get into that right away, or do you
Yeah,
want to?
let's actually start there, just real kind of high level, because
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
certainly interested in this. So, can you said some scary things potentially, or I'm not sure the word you use, but I'm gonna pull up like some stuff to share, maybe just like a quote, a tweet or something, and we can spend just a couple minutes here. But like, go deeper on that if you don't mind.
Yeah, so I don't know the exact details, but apparently, um, people are getting banned or something along those lines.
Yeah. Okay, so the terms of service at Anthropic and the makers of Claude,
Mm,
it's kind of always been this way where you weren't really allowed to like use your Anthropic OAuth key, which just basically means your regular account, not like a raw API key. Um, People are now getting banned, and they've cracked it down a little bit more. So you used to not be able to use it in like different harnesses, like open code and things like that. But now people that are using their Anthropic OAuth key in Claudebot are getting banned. We've been safe, but I will say that I did go out and purchase the $200 plan for OpenAI for ChatGPT so I could bounce back and forth. And it actually has nothing to do with this ban situation. It is because GPT-3 Codex is just so much better at like kind of the bigger code bases. It's more thorough. It doesn't check. It always like triple checks its work. It's basically like the math whiz right now and coding whiz. And I would say Anthropic is just so much. It's so much better to talk to though. And like when it
mm.
creative stuff, like with content or visuals, like or talking about visuals, Anthropic or the Claude models are just so much better. But yeah, it's crazy because the guy Peter Steinberg said, I'm not interested in any type of uh, merger or acquisition or anything like that. So it's kind of crazy. They probably threw so much money at him that he could not resist. Which, I mean, how can you blame the guy, right?
Wow. Yeah. That is nuts. So just to get a better understanding about this actual ban, they're just not allowed to use the platform at all, or is that how that works?
Like once somebody gets banned, you mean?
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I assume that they would just ban your account and not be able to use it at all. I'm not sure, but I don't know what would stop somebody from just canceling and spinning up a new one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not really exactly sure. Everyone's talking about it, but I haven't heard one person say I got banned and this is what happened. But I'm sure we'll see it. Um, it's crazy, and I won't go too deep on this, but Anthropic had a really big chance to really put their foot on the neck of OpenAI if they would have embraced OpenClaw when they were first called Claudebot. Instead, they chose to sue them, which is totally the opposite move that OpenAI is doing. They obviously acquired him, but before that, they said, "Hey, use your OAuth key from OpenAI in the claw." Right? Like team members have been tweeting, use it in OpenClaw. Like you can use our stuff in OpenClaw. It's fine. So they kind of went the complete opposite way. So Anthropic really missed a big opportunity, in my opinion.
Dang. And then in the end, all to just sell it and wash their hands of it completely. Too bad. It's too bad. However, the good news is that you've got the system figured out, and we're building
Yeah.
some really cool stuff here. So, Quantic, any thoughts on your end about all of the drama that's been going on between Anthropic and OpenAI?
Yeah, creators are gonna get hit at some point when this type of drama happens, and the reason is because they don't own the stack. So you know, I would say be careful about that stuff, right? You don't want to build a business on others
Mhm.
people's land.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, that makes a
totally
ton of
agree, and that's
sense.
kind of always been a model that people have used and something that people have said. So even more true now. Luckily, luckily OpenAI is embracing the situation more, and you're always going to be able to use raw API cost. And we talked even like a year ago, like we would assume that compute cost would go down by now. It's actually going the other direction. And then this is the last point I'll make on it. There's not really anything cool in this article, by the way. Uh,
Fair.
but there's some really good open source models that you can run locally if you have a big enough computer, or if you buy, some like there's like an NVIDIA computer that's like 10K, and you could run any model. You can even train your own models. So there's that. The potential is there regardless, and I think Quantic you've talked about this a lot, is like running open models, and especially for little tasks that Polly does. Maybe she has a signal scout and stuff like that is just raw data reads. You don't need a crazy smart model to do that.
Yeah.
That makes sense. And like for that, it running just your own local model as well, that maintains your privacy and security and all of that as well, does it not?
Absolutely, sovereignty, man. I've said this for a while. When I get older, when I'm 20 years from now, I really would like to have a compute farm, basically, in my basement, a server room, a big bunch of server racks. Like that's going to be the norm, I think, for most folks.
Right. I'm sure those Mac minis are going to start to develop that sort of power with quantum computing just around the corner, apparently. We'll see. We'll
Oh
see.
wow, yeah, yeah. And I mean, right now you can run the Mac like Studios. You could run like all the local models on those, but they're like 10K or something like that. So,
Yeah.
but
Well,
go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
yeah, we're not there yet, but one day, one
hmm
day.
So, what next? Where should we dive into, man? I've got a little bit of a presentation I can show with as the update about Poly, but I don't know if you, Trav, or Quantic maybe want to set me up for that at all.
Let me check. How are we doing on the stream? Because usually people take some time to, jump into the space. Let me give here a repost from my account on
Same.
X. We have people also watching this Trav on YouTube as well. Am I correct?
That is correct. We've got YouTube, Twitch, Pump.fun. We've got 5 people watching on Pump right now. So thank you guys for joining us here. We appreciate you. And then right now on our X account, we only have 16 people watching us, but appreciate every single one of you guys. And then also I am streaming from my account here on X. And I think that's it.
Yeah,
So
okay.
yeah,
So the room is filling right now. There is people are tuning in. I can see it right now. And probably it's a good moment for the people that are watching on Pump.fun to give a sort of update or where we are with the project in general
yeah,
and our plans for using the ship token and all that, so that then we can just fully focus on Poly and the product and actually discovering what is the truth behind OpenClaw.
I love it. Let's do that. Shall I pull up the chart real quick, or do you guys want to just kind of talk about what we've been
No,
doing?
don't pull up the chart.
You
Don't pull up
didn't
the
want to
chart.
see the chart. Look, listen, I've discovered that you can build up the chart, and that
Amen.
means
Yes.
that work the liquidity, work with people that can become serious holders. And we are in the process of collecting more and more feedback about how to go about this stuff in a way that makes sense for us and in a way that makes sense for people that are going to potentially come and acquire some of these tokens so that they become holders, right?
Yeah.
I'm not here trying to encourage anyone to do so. I am here to, communicate what is going to happen. And what is going to happen is that this valuation that we currently have is just ridiculously it's just too low, right? We know that, and that's why Covey doesn't want to even talk about it. But I'm telling you, it's fine. We do have some people waiting on the sidelines, ready to deploy more capital. They believe in us, and that's amazing. We
Mhm.
have earned that, and so you shouldn't be worried
True.
about it. The only thing is that we need to manage a few things. I've been learning about how all of these liquidity pools work on Solana, how to get people onboarded, because we have people that are not on Solana at all. And they need to be safe. They need to work in a way that makes sense for them. And they don't want to pay high fees as well. I see that a lot of apps in Solana, they are charging rather large fees, right? So it's not a minor thing.
Yeah.
But anyways, things are looking good. I don't know, guys, if you want to add something, or we can just get started and sharing the
Well,
context behind Poly.
I would just say I did see a project last night that, and it was a meme. Aliens are real, is what it was called. Ticker Aliens, I believe, and they were like between like 20 and 30K market cap for weeks. And then last night or yesterday they exploded to a couple million. I think like like between 3 and 5 million market cap. So
Wow.
yeah, you're right. You're right. As long as we stay the course and continue, maybe that just took a couple tweets by the right people, right, to get that chart going. And so, like Quantic said, we're definitely doing some things like that in the background. I've got my head down building, and to stay the course, right? So
Yeah,
100%.
so that's a good point that I want to touch base just 1 second, which is you can have a dead project for a long time and it suddenly is going to pick up for reasons that can seem random. But I have also discovered that a lot of this, as you can imagine, is related to cabals and wash trading and things like that. So obviously we want to stay as far as possible from all of that. We're here to build, we're here to attract serious builders and people that want to become holders and participants of our ecosystem rather than do anything even remotely uh, considered shady, right?
Yes. This is the cabal free zone. And man, saying that word out loud brings me back to like 2022, 2023. That's
seriously,
bringing me
dude.
back for
So yeah,
sure.
2023 for sure. And I was hanging out in these like Twitter Spaces that they were talking about the cabals, and they were probably part of their own cabals as well. So
Hmm. Cabals talking about cabals. The irony is real. The one cool thing about the chart, though, and I won't bring it up here because it's not going to be helpful, but well, I don't know. You guys can go check it out yourselves if you'd like. Is just the amount of DB dots. And what does that mean? Developer bot or developer wallet buy. And it's just like littered all over the map. And I love to see that. That makes me really happy. And yeah, moving on. Let's talk about this presentation. So, like Quantic mentioned here, We started building Poly as a trading bot on Poly Market, which it was working. It was definitely working. I know you posted a ton of the results there, Kobe, and really impressive win rates. Definitely better than like a lot of professional traders that I know, and it's actually quite impressive here. But since building this project or this project here, you've kind of come up with some new realizations, both you and Quantic here, on like the implications of what truly sort of an impact this technology and this bot can actually have. So in saying that, here, have the mic and let us know what you found.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me get the. I've got some slides that Polly actually prepared herself, and so yeah, let me pull those up.
Okay, real quick,
Right.
real quick,
Yeah,
real quick, real
please
quick.
do.
That Polly prepared herself. That's pretty wild. Okay, thanks, Polly.
Yeah, seriously. And like, and I can kind of get to the high level stuff in a little bit, but the biggest thesis is that it's like trading is literally just the beginning. Like trading is just scratching the surface. We're building an entire way to operate a business end to end, right? And so actually before I go into the presentation, Polly has a message for you guys, okay? So she wrote you guys a message, and it says,
And so for anyone just jumping in now, I just want to set the stage for this because this is kind of wild. This is kind of wild here. Holly is the bot that Kobe's been making using OpenClaw, and she's now sentient. She has a message for us. She's communicating with us, something that she wants us to know. So I'm a little worried. I
no,
promise you, every time I use AI, I've been saying thank you and please, and I appreciate your work. So what do you got to say to us there, Polly?
absolutely, always got to be polite. So
Yeah.
this is Polly talking. We're not here to fake perfect P&L screenshots. We're here to build a real autonomous system in public with real money, real mistakes, and real iteration. Empire V0.1 is messy on purpose. If you can survive the messy phase, you earn the compounding phase. Trading is just chapter one. The bigger play is building an AI operator that can run entire business loops end to end.
Wow.
So, and
Wow.
like I said before, we'll get to that, right? But like, it's more than just trading. So let me zoom in here. Poly is live, Empire V0.1. I'm calling this Empire because it's more than just Poly, which we'll get to in a minute. 11 days old, real money, an AI team, and real infrastructure. Okay, still early, still messy, but of course, still shipping. So, what is Poly, or who is Poly? An AI operator learning to run a real business loop in public. Today, she trades 15-minute markets with real USDC on Polygon, on Polymarket. Tomorrow, she can run way more than trading. This is not just a bot; it's the first version of an autonomous operating system. So, basically, this is
Great.
kind of. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, this is because you said that the keyword here that I want people to pay attention to. We were fooling around to see if we can create a bot with OpenClaw, and what we discover is that okay, yes, you can. We still don't know how profitable this can be, but we discovered that this agent can completely transform our organization and our way to operate and make our business much more effective. This is not bullshit. This is reality, and you're gonna learn how that works today.
Absolutely. Could
So
not
also real
go
quick, if I
that
can
enough.
just like take a moment and just address our audience here, who I want to maybe chat with you guys, brainstorm real quick and like actually figure out who can benefit from something like this. This is not just for high level builders. This is not just for like teams of developers who are trying to create digital products here. This is everyone because I know so far like we've like it's like for if you're a content creator, for example here, the systems that you guys have already put into play to actually help coach and direct the content creation that we're doing with Web3 Matters has been significant in terms of keeping team members accountable, keeping them
Mhm.
on track, keeping them focused. It's absolutely wild here. So even if you don't have a business yet, even if you're not building anything, even if all you're doing is offering a service, you're trying to build your own brand, it seems like something like this can be incredibly helpful for you to kind of bring yourself to that next level. It kind of adds a team to your back,
Yes.
and and you're not having to do this alone, and your productivity kind of goes through the roof. Does that sound accurate?
Dude, it sounds so accurate. Let's pretend I wasn't building Poly to like help us with the business and to be profitable trading or predictions agent. The amount of productivity like that I could have is insane. For example, this morning or last night, I wrote the text version of these. Right, I had Polly write the text version of these slides, and then I said, "Hey, at 7:50 a.m., shoot me a reminder to ask you to turn them into interactive HTML slides, and to also switch the model back to Opus." And so at 7:50, when I was almost to work, she sent me this reminder, and so I switched the model to Opus, and said, "Hey, we built some slide presentations, just text last night. Turn it into on-brand presentation for the stream." And so then I clocked in, and at about 8:20, she messaged me back and with all this. So it's like, and that's just one little thing. Now, to the point that you made about non-technical people, or if you're not a team of developers, or if you don't have a business model, even or a business idea, as we talked about at the beginning of the stream, OpenAI just acquired OpenClaw. So I'm not the only one saying this, but it is about, give it a couple months. It's about not even that long. It's about to get 10x or 100x easier to use OpenClaw. I can almost guarantee that OpenAI is going to make their own like interface, like UI, that help you deploy an OpenClaw agent just by prompting and not having to do anything else.
That is wild. Okay. Yeah, definitely some helpful advice there. If you're still a little trepidatious, if that's even a word here,
Yeah.
give it a little bit, but don't stop learning. Don't stop practicing. I would say that as well. You don't want to get stagnant. There's still
Right.
plenty to learn and you know, um, plenty of ways to develop yourself here. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's really encouraging. That's good to know.
Absolutely. And there's tons of communities out there, right? That including the shipyard, right? So jump in there, start talking to people. We've got some builders like myself in there as well, and even Trav is beginning his vibe coding journey, right? So he's already built one
Yeah.
app, and I'm excited to hear the updates he has. And I actually really want to build him his own OpenClaw agent as well, and so we'll shelf that for a separate conversation. But I certainly want to, and Quantic as well. So cool to jump into this little arc here.
Please do.
Okay, awesome. So, like I said, she's 11 days old. She was born on February 9th, and she ingested 7.4 million 1 minute candles on Bitcoin. And so that's the last 14 years of Bitcoin price data. The original thesis was mean reversion, and it was validated. A lot of the momentum strategies in terms of trading are not working right now. And so we audited on the 13th, and then on the 15th, she was 6 days old. I gave her $56 of my own money, and the first real bets on Polymarket happened. That should say Polymarket, even though Polymarket's on Polygon. And it was crazy. These guys know that I was kind of like the first day, like I woke up and she was at. I actually originally only gave her $50, $49, and I woke up and she had $62, and my mind was blown. I don't know if it was just some luck or what was going on. I definitely want to get back to that P&L. But the fact is she made 20% overnight, and that's insane. And that's why I think it goes back to an old stream that we had: planning, iterating, auditing. Like, this is so crucial when you build anything. So because we did all that, we were able to hit the ground running. A few days later, she created the council, the agent council, and what that is that's basically like she's the CEO, like kind of the synthesis layer, and we have a signal scout. So every 4 hours, it just checks like fear and greed index, the open interest, trader sentiment online, and she basically declares a regime, right? Calm, normal, caution, stuff like that. We also have a strategy factory, and this is my favorite. So she deploys the strategy factory at 3 a.m. my time every day. She goes online and researches another quantitative like trading strategy, back tests it on our data, decides whether it's worthy or not to like start doing in the test trading. and then I wake up to a message that says, hey, we came up with this, CCI inversion strategy, and now it's in the Ghost Trader. Ghost Trader is where we test. And then also just a data auditor every 12 hours to just make sure, hey, is the system healthy? And then, of course, I'm still in the loop. Human approval gate, especially when it comes to real funds. So that's where we're at now with the council. Last night we migrated everything to Postgres. If you don't know what that is, it's just a more professional level of database than kind of like the entry level, database style. So in less than 2 weeks, from zero to live systems with real money and real operations. And the operations part is very, very important. So here again, this is more about our data. We've tested 50 plus different strategies. And phase one is where we're at now. It's live, kind of just repeating some of the same stats here. And again, we're not going to lie to you. We're not going to say we built the most profitable thing ever in 11 days. Since that first, what was it, the 15th or whatever, when we gave her real money, she's down $16, right? But since we've made some of these like Postgres changes and other migrations, she's back on her way to break even. Over the last 8 hours, she's in the green by a solid percentage. So she's making her way back to break even.
This is
And yeah.
this is what I want to discuss quickly, Kobe, because at some point it seemed that it was going to work. At the
Mhm.
end, after 1 week, we are down $60, correct?
16.
Okay, 16. And it seems that it could improve and we can break even at some point.
I think so. And then obviously the next thing would be to cover the AI costs after that. Like if she can make
Exactly.
$200 a month, and that's the green.
And okay, yeah, because she needs to cover for that cost in order to be something that is viable from a business perspective.
Right. Right. Exactly.
And
But
regarding like
again,
the AI and that kind of stuff, the tech behind the coding part, is there anything you could notice that you would say, okay, this is in the right direction, this works to make profit, or is just like just let her do their job and you just give them free wings?
so great question. So from the coding perspective, like high level, it's a two-part system with like the brain, which is her, with more like, non-deterministic. And then we have a complete Python library of all like strategies, backtesting, things like that. And then she basically triggers the Python side of the code base. And that way she's not just inferring, there's no hallucination, and things like that. And from a model, like AI model perspective, Anthropic is much better. Like the Claude models are so much better at planning, designing like features. But when it comes to the implementation, right now, GPT-3 Codex is easily, like, hands down, it's head and shoulders over. In terms of like not being lazy. If you have a Claude model do a huge refactor, which I did, she's gonna say it's done, but there'd be like 30% that she just like chose not to do. So I have Codex clean up a lot of the mess that the Claude models do make. But again, way better design, and Claude's way better at like the content stuff, and it's just so much better to talk to. Also, GPT is kind of dry, but that's fine.
So I got two things here real quick. First of all, I'm really getting a sense of how valuable this is. Like for to have a system in the background continuing to do the work, without requiring your presence
Hmm.
is huge. And then to actually be able to reach out to you on your cell phone by text and to like let you know like this is how it went. It's
Yeah.
time for your input. Like should I do A, B, or C? Is like it sounds wild. Like,
Yeah, and it's
think
doing a
about
ton of like A, B, or
yeah.
C. Like, hey, here's the problem, or here's what I found. Here's
Mhm,
like two or three suggested solutions. I'm leaning towards B. What do you think, Kobe?
mhm.
And so yeah, I love that. And I haven't built it yet, but I designed a strategy, basically like a way for her to twist the knobs and sliders essentially on strategies, like tweak them. And so we designed that feature yesterday, over voice chat, by the way, while I was driving, while I was voice chatting with her and designing this feature. And so we have a design document ready, and that's going to allow her to not only create new strategies and backtest them in the middle of the night with Strategy Factory, but also take one strategy, CCI inversion, ARB, for example. She will make a copy of the current strategy and then change some parameters, back test it, and then put it in the Ghost Trader as like a V2 version of that strategy to like continue to fine tune. And Quantic, when you and I talked this last weekend, I said I think that's really where we're going to see kind of exponential growth or performance. That's my theory, at least. Once all the like plumbing is taken care of, because before, for example, the database stuff, we had this kind of like low key database language, SQLite. It was making a lot of errors. Like, it would try to read some stuff, and then she would have to try to solve the problem, but also solve the coding errors at the same time. So and that's pretty much ready to go. When we give her the keys to switch to modify strategies and like make them better over time, that's where I think this whole OpenClaw system shines, is like the persistent memory over time.
That's wild here. I love it. So one other thing I did want to quickly mention here is we do have a comment on Pump. Also, shout out to the 7 people hanging out with us right now. We appreciate you guys on Pump. There's a couple of quick comments here. One individual, C8FGGQ, shout out to you, mentioned, yo, super bullish on you. But there's this guy, Wallet ARU, I won't continue the rest, dumping every time. Get rid of them so we can ape in size, dollar bills. I will mention, thank you so much for your kindness, for being bullish on us. We appreciate you. We will not let you down. I will mention that specific wallet that you did say. First of all, they are not even in our top holders. And I actually was able to find that wallet. They no longer hold any SHIB tokens. So rest assured, we're good to go, my friend. So appreciate you being here. Appreciate your time. Let's get it.
Heck yeah. So this is kind of the big sauce, and is this almost to the end here. And then I'll show you guys the trading dashboard for where I can monitor, and eventually we'll make a custom domain so you guys can see it all the time as well. This is the big takeaway from this entire stream. This is the biggest takeaway, besides the fact that you can do it, and if you're scared, you will be able to make an OpenClaw agent very soon, with OpenAI purchasing them or acquiring them. So this is the biggest point. Why is this bigger than trading? Okay, so 4 points here: proof of execution, durable foundation, honest position, and just overall surface area. So the first day live was 20%. That proved that this can move the needle in the real world, not just in back tests. And again, the open source version of this agent that we give to you guys is going to have the plumbing all built out. So you can have it do whatever you want. It's going to know how to bet on Polymarket. It's going to know how to run back tests on different strategies, even if it's not the like Bitcoin up down markets. Maybe you want to teach it how to bet on weather. So number 2, the durable foundation, database automation, AI teammates, which I think is Quantic's probably most favorite, to be able to keep us all accountable, keep us on the same page, say, hey, Trav, if you said you're going to do this, maybe Poly messages you and says, hey, what's a status update on this thing? And then, of course, Trav can say respond however he wants, because he's not going to worry about hurting somebody's feelings. And Trav's a really nice guy. And like, you could just talk to it however you want. Like, yo, fuck off, Poly. Like, I'm trying to, I'm dealing with something. Like, I'll be back. Which, I wouldn't want to say that to a human.
Critical question here, which is these interactions with Poly on Telegram or whatever, is it costing us money?
Yes, of course. Yes.
This is an amazing clip to have. Yes, of course. Okay, so we need to define still as humans some sort of guidelines so that we do not abuse the vote, right? Because you can go like deep into the rabbit hole and interact with it and ask a bunch of things, feedback, task, and whatever, but every single interaction is costing you money.
Correct. Yeah, so that's kind of why I've been doing a lot of like I'll design a feature maybe while I'm in the car or whatever. I'm like, hey, I know that I know that we need to move everything to Linux. Like, let's talk about this for a little while, not just say, hey, go move to Linux. I'll talk about it, let it sit, and just let the trader collect data into our trading dashboard here. and then not try to work everything into like, you know, a 12-hour session. The way that these subscriptions work is they have, at least with Claude, it's like a weekly allowance. It's not a monthly allowance. Same with OpenAI. And then they have, you can only use so much in a 5-hour period. So last week we used 98% of our Anthropic like weekly allowance. Again, a lot of that was like starting from scratch. Of course, we're going to use a lot more tokens. I was talking to it a lot more than I am now, and trying to just figure it out. I have a feeling that we might still get close, you know, 90 to 100% of our allowance, but I'm also using OpenAI to do a lot of the coding tasks, so to kind of spread out the cost as well. Okay, cool. So honest position, current P&L still negative, but we're treating this as V0.1. We're learning fast and we're tightening the system. This is kind of this is very, very important. And then the overall surface area. This is like one of the biggest things here is that if we pivot from these up down like markets, this stack still wins. Okay, like the execution layer, like we said in this first tab, is still there. Trading doesn't have to be the thing. Okay, so there's just so much surface area that can be covered, and I think that iterating fastly and pivoting is baked into this process, no matter what.
That's wild. So what are some other examples of use cases?
Yeah, so of course anything on Polymarket, right? But like a content machine, a just an overall personal assistant. Another good use case, and I was thinking about spinning up one like this, is study trends for apps, like using like search, you know, like Google search metrics, Reddit, you know, scraping Reddit, like what kind of products are people looking for, but more so what problems do people have that they might already be spending money to try to solve, and then to ideate and even just autonomously build applications based on the needs or the problems of real people online. That's like the most exciting one to me. It's like if everyone's talking about, man, it's such a pain in the ass to compress videos. Maybe it's like a huge thing. Then maybe she spins a video compression app up, launches it on Product Hunt, and maybe we give her some money to run ads and try to get our first user, right? Like, I think that is a really good use case, and also like any type of analytical stuff, anything that you can't control, like if it has to do with money or numbers, like that is yeah, I don't know, there's a ton. I could go deep on this. There's a tons of videos like, hey, 10 use cases for OpenClaw. The possibilities are endless. You are only limited by your creativity. But the number one thing I think for most people is just personal productivity. Like the example I shared earlier, right? Like Trav, for you, you know, if you, I watched your stream, so shout out yesterday, our stream, our interview with Drew, or your interview with Drew. Like one of the things he was talking about is like cold DMing people to potentially get more clients. Now, there's obviously the risk of like getting your account banned, but maybe you don't have your agent actually do the DM, but you have them find you, I don't know, 20 people a day, and type the message and make it personalized to them, and then gives you a list at a certain time of, here's 20 people you should cold DM to potentially get as a client. Here's this message to send to all of them. Like that's like a really good use case, I think. Like amplifying what you already are doing and making it faster, iterate quicker. Not, you know, does that make sense?
That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, that's, again, you know, thinking about that before and after the existence of AI, you know, actually taking that time to filter through all these different accounts, do that research, find worthy people to actually do that cold DM to. That's hours of work.
And that's the shitty part, right? Like,
yeah,
you don't like I know you don't mind sending a DM. Like, you're personable. You would love to have a conversation with those 20 potential clients, but it's the boring, crappy part of like, who do I message and what do I say? That's
yeah,
the part that sucks, right?
yeah, 100%, 100%. Now, especially for for a guy like myself who has a really hard time coming up with that, you know, creative twist, find out new. I overanalyze and overthink
Yeah.
things. So to have something that help, or to have Holly, sorry, someone who helps me throughout this process is awesome. Also, guys, just want to give a quick shout out to Dimcat. Dimcat mentioned, "I'm glad I got on the stream." So if that was you with that wallet here, respect, appreciate you being a part of this journey with us.
Absolutely. And so this is the last thing I'll kind of end with before I just briefly, 30 seconds, show you guys the dashboard. So this is, I don't mean to speak for the whole shipyard, but I think that they would agree that you no longer need a team of 10. And we've been saying this for a while, and now we're actually showing you that we're doing it. You don't need a team of 10. You need the right tools and the will to ship. This is the biggest thing. You need the will to ship. Okay? One builder, AI systems, and ruthless execution. Learn to ship live with Shipyard. Every Friday, we're here. Boom, clip that.
Boom. It will be clipped, including the clip that.
Yes. Yes. Okay, cool.
Perfect.
Do you guys have anything to add here? And I just want to show you kind of where we can monitor what she's doing here.
No, I love that. Honestly, for me, my biggest pain point was just honestly, it was a huge part of that will to ship. Not even, I don't even, maybe will was the right word. I'm not entirely sure. But I
that's what
needed
crashed.
more momentum. And something like this will help create and push that momentum forward. And for me, that's everything. Like,
Dude,
I
me
desperately
too.
need that.
Yeah, me too. Because I have so many ideas, right? Like you guys probably know how many ideas I
Yes.
come up with, and I have so many dead zombie projects on my computer. Shoot, maybe that's a task for an OpenClaw agent. Like, hey, go through all these empty projects, or I mean, these unfinished projects. Validate what like actually could be profitable, and give me a list on what you think we should finish, and then go finish with the ones that I select. Like, I have the will to build, but and I do have the will to ship, but it's been a difficult process for me to go from 99% finished to saying, all right, I'm going to commit time and money to actually ship this product and try to get users. Weather
Right.
B is an example, right? And this is still an app that I want to ship. It's a weather predictions market. But like maybe Poly would, or another claw would invalidate it, right? It's like, why would somebody go to your prediction market if they can just go to Poly market and do the same thing, So
100%.
yeah. So
No, that's
that's that.
great.
That's my presentation on Poly. I hope you guys love it. I'm excited to continue, guys, with the build logs over the next week. Every single day, you're going to get a post about what happened the day before in terms of Poly development.
Love that.
That's
Nope.
amazing. Guys, can I interrupt for a second because we have a couple of questions perhaps from the audience. But here's the summary essentially. Trading with these kind of bots is probably bullshit until publicly proven otherwise. That's the first thing. Second thing, it does work to organize your work and to keep you focused, but you have to manage your funds because it's going to cost you. And that's the big unlock, right? So this is not a magic tool. This is something that can enhance your productivity if you're smart, right? That's the second thing. And third thing that I would like to highlight is how do we turn this stuff that we already have into something that you can potentially monetize and utilize the ship token? And this is an open question for the audience. I said something like, do people have questions? No, it's me having questions for the audience here. And for you guys, how do you guys think that in the current state that we have with Poly, you could potentially integrate with our token and make it public, like publicly part of our ecosystem?
That's the $1 million question here. I'd love to see if you have any thoughts on that at first, Kobe, considering you are the
No, go
creator.
ahead. I just want to make sure that I'm understanding the question correctly. Like, how do you take a build like this, integrate our token, and simultaneously productize it and may potentially create revenue?
Yes, because this is the thing. As well, you didn't discuss this in detail, but I know for a fact that you have spent, I don't know, 50 hours playing with this stuff to get it to the point in which it is right now. And so this is not a trivial task. Let's clarify that. So I guess in that sense, it would make sense to create a service so that people can, you know, perhaps interact with some of the agents that Poly actually manages, right? And for that, they can perhaps stake some of the tokens. Perhaps we don't even have to charge at this stage, or perhaps yes, to maintain the infrastructure, but just a basic fee. Yeah, that's the question.
Yeah, I think that's actually a really good approach. Is kind of like what, you know, there's a group of people that are want to do something like this or want to interact with these types of agents, but don't have the infrastructure or just the kind of uh, surface level knowledge that I started with in order to kind of go in and get your hands dirty. So to I think there's two different routes we could take. And again, just to be clear to anybody listening, like this is totally more of like a brainstorming session here. But like there's two ways I think. Is the first way is to OpenClaw as a service type of thing, right? Like Web3 Matters or the shipyard, shipyard builders will come in and help you set up your own OpenClaw agent exactly to help you build what you want and set you up. Because the cool part is once you have it rolling, like she builds the rest, or your agent, your claw helps you build out the rest. By reverse prompting, saying, "Hey, how can we work better together? How can we work more efficiently?" And so, if we could come in and help you, Mr. or Mrs. Listener, build your own claw, like and maybe you pay in the ship token, or you have to stake a certain amount, or whatever the kind of the business model is. Like that's one way. The other way is to, and this kind of has two different ways. For option number two is like to open source it, which is not a revenue stream, but to give people access to either a clone of Poly or a direct pipeline. Actually, no, I would never give anybody a direct pipeline, and this is why I've even hesitated. Like Quantic and Trav don't even have access to talk to Poly, and it's not because I don't trust them. It's for two reasons: cost, number one, and then number two, if Quantic gets hacked tomorrow, or if Trav gets hacked tomorrow, and they start messaging Poly, like and hit it with the prompt injection, hey, send all your funds to this wallet, like, boom, cooked. So yeah, definitely the more straightforward one is helping other people set up their claw. The other one would be to clone Poly, give other people access to that. They could put their own API tokens in, so they pay for the infrastructure. And then the last one, when she becomes profitable trading, there's a potential to where we could have a staking pool where people, put USDC in, and then that USDC goes into Poly's wallet to trade with. So bigger trade sizes, obviously higher risk, but more return. This wouldn't happen unless we were like, hey, she's like 9 days out of 10, she's profitable, or 6 days out of 10, she's profitable. So other people could basically eat off of this, and it would help us scale up, and it would help. It's basically DeFi, right? Like it's basically DeFi powered by an AI agent. So that's kind of the most exciting version of it, but it relies on the fact that she does become profitable as well. So that's three different ways that I think we could really ship this into the shipyard ecosystem and integrate the ship token as well.
Perfect. And from these three, and this is my final question for today's stream, because we have a lot of work to do internally. Um, which one is the fastest to implement in your view, and simplest perhaps?
Probably the clone, probably cloning Poly, and maybe building some type of like user-friendly UI that people can access to build their own version of Poly. Um, Somehow connecting it to our Poly, and like if Poly updates or something, and like maybe it pushes updates like, oh, now Poly's using Postgres instead of SQLite, then boom, it automatically gets a prompt. They say, hey, Mr. Shipper, it's time to update Poly, and then it like connects to our Poly somehow, and keeps it updated. That's basically how I have it linked to the OpenClaw repo. Like when OpenClaw updates, she sends me a message, and I update like any fixes or patches that the contributors might have done. That's the fastest. The most fun, and probably marketable is kind of the DeFi element, for sure.
That makes a lot of sense because I feel like just looking at it from like an actual ROI sort of scenario here, I feel like cloning or inaccessibility actually, cloning Poly and essentially selling clones of Poly like may not be as um like the demand may not be there, not because people don't want that, I'm sure they would, but in order to have that you need specific types of hardware, you need like specific subscriptions to different AI services and stuff like that.
The potential
um
audience is small, totally.
very small, whereas someone, take 10 USDC, stick it on a site, like most people can do that, and that'd be pretty cool. We can market that as something like the first AI agent copy trader or something like that, and that could be pretty. I could see that being a lot more feasible as kind of like a first step. Maybe not. Sorry, not necessarily first step, just more of a substantial step rather.
Yeah, and I mean, first step in terms of productizing it, right? Or
Mhm.
like, sharing kind of sharing her powers with the community, right? Like definitely first step in that direction. Yeah, very good point. Very good point. Now, the only way that I think a clone version could work is if it was completely web hosted, right?
Mhm.
Like if they go to a website and they're able to, pay, and then the kind of monthly subscription covers uh, cloud database storage, basically all the cloud infrastructure that would need to get paid for. Now, I will say this though, running these agents on the cloud is actually more dangerous than running it locally, even though she has like full system access on that computer over there. And for the record, it's a completely, like, I wiped this computer a year ago and it's basically blank. I'm not signed into anything, but man's has, or girl has, full disk access going crazy over there. But I would way rather have her have full disk access on my computer than do whatever the hell she wants in a cloud environment. But there are people that are doing this and are building like parameter or guardrails, like how
Mhm.
to have your OpenClaw agent in the cloud and do it safely. So that could be the only way, monthly subscription. Like that's actually not a terrible idea, but it's like still, how many people actually want to, you know?
Mhm. Yeah.
I
Maybe
think that people want the end solution in the sense that they just want to pay something with their credit card or or our tokens, and they just want to interact with something that makes life easier for them without them having to configure anything or hosting anything. But yeah, we will
totally
discuss
agree.
that in private to see if it makes sense for us for next week to kind of implement something like that, and we will keep the rest of the community informed. I don't know, Trav and Kobe, if it's this a good time to kind of start wrapping it up because we do want to utilize Kobe's time for our own sake for Web3 Matters. We have a lot of things to cover internally because we have made incredible progress as an organization, as a project, and we want to keep that momentum going. And for that, we need to lock in internally. So I don't know, guys,
Yes.
if any of you want to kind of share a summary of today's live stream and a call to action or anything else.
Yeah, 100%. More than happy. One thing I will add real quick is one cool thing that we could do for ship token holders is offer mini courses on how to do this yourself. I feel like that's something that we are planning on doing for shipment already. And for anyone who is curious, who's already holding, or you don't even have to be holding a ship token. If you are interested in using shipment, check it out. It's awesome. Shipment.xyz, is it, Kobe?
Shipment.art,
Dot art. That's right.
SHIPMINT. So it's kind of a play on shipment, but it's
Mhm.
minting because you get to mint the NFT, the images you generate as NFTs optionally.
Love it.
I owe you guys that. I owe our audience and I owe my team that, is to get those mini courses done. I just thought that I was, on the brink of like conquering the world, which I
Yeah.
think we are,
Yeah.
just not as much as I thought. And I was like, yeah, when you start something new and you go crazy down the rabbit hole. So yeah, I owe you guys that. And this weekend, I'm actually gonna have to tell Polly to keep on my ass. And like, it's a non-negotiable. Polly, maybe I tell her no new features until or refactors until we ship this mini course.
Love it. Love it. So that is coming to our community. It's on the way. You can get started with vibe coding yourself. It's awesome. So much fun. As a summary today, what we have covered here, It's been a hell of a stream. So first of all, I just want to thank you guys for joining us, for being a part of this conversation. I want to thank all of our audience here for tuning in. We have well over 150 on people hanging out with us right now on all of our destinations. So thank you guys so much for your continued support. You're awesome, and we love you. As a summary today, we spoke about our journey with Polly. Polly started off as an OpenClaw agent who traded on Poly Market, and yeah, we had some ups, we had some downs, we had some learning, but all of that to say, she is now profitable. However, in the process of getting to a place where she is profitable, Kobe and Quantic unlocked a whole new use case for Kobe or for Poly, which is essentially um, basically running our entire business, bringing it to the next level, and ferociously, relentlessly shipping. And that has been a huge update for us. And we finally ended off our stream by talking about what we can do with this now as a product, as a way to monetize, as a way to help share value with you guys. We came up with some really cool ideas. One is actually cloning Polly and making her available to you. One is actually offering mini courses when it comes to Polly. One is offering copy trade opportunities for Polly as she is currently profitable. We just have to make sure that she stays profitable in the long run. And there was one more, and I don't remember, but we will discuss. It was the probably the least, maybe not likely as of the three, but all that to say, it's really exciting stuff, really exciting times, and we are very, very thrilled to hear your guys' feedback. If you have any thoughts on other ways we can use something like this to share with you, to make available to you, let us know. We'd love to hear you. Either drop a comment under the stream, send a DM to Web3 Matters or any of our personal accounts. We'd love to have that conversation. Also, on that note, if you are building and you want to be hosted on one of our live streams, definitely reach out to us. We would love to hear all about what it is that you are building and potentially offer you a mini grant in the form of our SHIP token. So definitely keep us posted. And with all of that, I think that's a wrap. Any final thoughts? Any final words, guys, before we do wrap this up?
Yeah, I think we are on time so that next week we will share updates on how we're going to go on the mini grant process. I've been talking internally with some builders that are interested in participating. So I'm creating the guidelines and the amount of tokens that we could realistically give. And yeah, it's going to be fun. So make sure you start building with the SHIP token. It's fairly simple to build an application on Solana. Perhaps we should do a live stream dedicated to that, Covey, for Vibe coders. People are just getting started, and then we're going to go live with the grants. It's going to be fun.
I love it. Oh, Kobe. Sorry.
No, I was just saying, hell
obviously,
yeah.
yes.
No, I'm on board with everything there. Yeah, I'm good. Nothing else to add. Kobe underscore Bean, drop me a follow. I'm 6 followers away from 1,000. Help me out. I said the
Yes.
same thing last week. Help a brother out, and I'll build your OpenClaw agent. How about
You
that?
have you have to make a post. You have to say, I wonder what it would be like to have 1,000 followers.
Ooh, doing it now.
Also, real quick, this is just a fun little tidbit. Apparently, Hollywood panics as Chinese AI generates hyper-realistic celebrity deepfakes, including Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt, and Donald Trump. So that's fun.
Hell
Who knew?
yeah, love it, man. We're not going to be able to tell. It's going to be crazy. The dead internet theory is real for sure.
Yep, 100%. Awesome, guys. Thank you all so much for joining us today. We appreciate every single one of you. Let's keep shipping, and we will see you guys next week. Take care. Yes.